This is WFYI News Now. It's September 25th, and I'm Abriana Herron. On today's show, 16 Indiana schools won the National Blue Ribbon, a federal award meant to honor scholastic achievement. A workforce development organization will expand to more classrooms across the state. And it's been shown that about 2/3 of sexual assaults in Indiana go unreported. We'll hear about one advocate who wants lawmakers to do something about it.
I could not understand the level of betrayal I felt by a system that I truly believed was supposed to help victims, but instead I regretted reporting entirely.
Those stories coming up. But first, the Indianapolis City-County Council met Monday night, and the public had its last chance to comment on the city's proposed $1.6 billion budget for 2025. Environmental activists spoke out about their desire for more funding to help preserve urban forests. The Indiana Forest Alliance originally called for $6 million to purchase urban forest, and that is not included in the budget. Other residents who spoke about the city budget proposal supported more funding for the arts and mental health crisis response teams. The council also passed a proposal that increases the pay of elected officials, except for the mayor. It would raise pay for a number of city leaders in 2025. A final vote for the budget will happen on October 7th. And 16 Indiana schools won a top federal honor for their scholastic success. The U.S. Department of Education awarded the public and private schools with the 2024 National Blue Ribbon. It's meant to recognize schools that showed progress in closing achievement gaps among student subgroups. U.S. Secretary of Education Miguel Cardona says these schools showcase the power of listening to educators and using best practices in teaching math and science.
You show us what happens when we focus on the instructional core, ensuring every student in America receives an excellent education that lets them achieve their dreams.
In Indianapolis, 6 schools received the honor, including the public charter school, Paramount Cottage Home, and the private Catholic Roncalli High School. 356 schools across the country won the Blue Ribbon this year. Up to 420 schools may be nominated each year. The Indiana Department of Education nominates schools for the award. A state-based national workforce development organization is expanding its programs to more classrooms across Indiana in hopes to provide more opportunities for students. Indiana Public Broadcasting's Tamoria Cunningham reports program officials say it is close to reaching its current expansion goal.
Jobs for America's Graduates, or JAG, is a national organization that develops education-based programs to prepare students for the workforce. Last year, Indiana's JAG chapter announced plans to double the number of programs in the state to 250 by the end of this school year. Brianna Morse is the Director of Youth Initiatives and Field Support at the Indiana Department of Workforce Development, which oversees the state JAG programs.
It really is providing, more than anything, opportunities for kids to do good things and to learn the skills that they're going to need after school.
Morse says there was a 97% high school graduation rate last year for those who participated in a JAG program, nearly 10% higher than the state average. For Indiana Public Broadcasting, I'm Tamoria Cunningham.
And for our final story today, about 2/3 of sexual assaults in Indiana go unreported, according to the Indiana Coalition to End Sexual Assault and Human Trafficking. One advocate, a survivor herself, wants lawmakers to take steps to improve that rate. Samantha McCoy told lawmakers she was raped when she was a student at Indiana University, and she detailed her experience reporting it, from being interrogated for hours to police losing some evidence and dismissing a video recording of the rape itself.
I could not understand the level of betrayal I felt by a system that I truly believed was supposed to help victims, but instead I regretted reporting entirely.
There's a Sexual Assault Survivors Bill of Rights at the federal level. McCoy wants Indiana lawmakers to extend it to the state level. One provision McCoy says is important is victims should not be required to undergo a voice stress test or a polygraph, more commonly known as a lie detector test.
In my experience, as I stated, it was used as an intimidation tactic. It was not used in the investigation, and further, it cannot be used in court regardless.
Other provisions McCoy recommends include free access for survivors to full police reports of their alleged assault and mandatory testing of rape kits. That's all for today's episode of WFYI News Now. Our podcast is produced by Drew Daudelin, with support from the news team at WFYI and public media journalists across the state. Our news director is Sarah Neal-Estes. Kendall Antron produced our music, and I'm your host, Abriana Herron. If you like today's episode, remember to subscribe and share, and follow WFYI on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube to check in on our newsroom throughout the day. Thanks for listening. We'll be back tomorrow.